What's going on, everyone? This is Marila Voe. My name is Arturo. I'm the vocalist in the band.
And I'm Miguel, the guitarist.
I'm Randy, the drummer.
My name is Roy. I play guitar as well, and this is the Get in the Van podcast. All right, guys, welcome back to the Get in the Van podcast. Thank you for listening. If you guys haven't already, you can subscribe to it on our YouTube channel, SoundCloud, and follow and like us on there and keep up to date.
We definitely want to say a thank you to everybody who's followed us so far. Like, we've had people come up to us and, say, hey, everything you talked about has been helpful. So thank you, guys.
Yeah, we appreciate it. It's coming up on the last, 2 months of the year. We're almost finished recording our... what we initially thought was going to be a record, but now it's an EP, which we're very proud of. We're going to kind of talk a little bit about that, kind of get you guys up to date what's going on with our lives and working with Mac Damon in the studio. We're about 90% done now, and we're really excited to get it released and put it out there. So we have some big things coming up. We're going to release a 5-song EP, by the way. So the songs we chose are probably like the strongest songs that we have so far as a band. And we've just recorded our fourth one today. We're going to finish up our last song tomorrow, track the guitars. But it's been a really incredible experience. Mac Damon's taught us a lot about being a band, growing as musicians.
How to be in the studio and what to expect.
Definitely learned a lot. It was pretty intimidating at the beginning, but it's been pretty fun progress.
Yeah, and so far we've just been flying through the songs as far as getting comfortable with Mac Damon in the studio. He's made it really fun and also almost as like lessons on what we should not do and do in the studio to, kind of keep the progress going.
One of the roles that we had to learn, because this was our first time working with the professional that's been recording for like a few, like 25 years. One thing that he did help us was perfect and hone our skills as musicians, like whatever role that we chose. Not like... I'm going to say it wasn't like on accident, like we purposely chose like to either perfect our singing or be a guitarist or drum. Like that's one thing he helped us get better at. As far as like singing with me, he really helped me because I've never had lessons and I've been singing since I was like 15. So about 10 years. Like he made me realize like what it means to use your head voice, your diaphragm, like before that I was using it. It's just I didn't know what it was called. I didn't know what I was doing. Like I definitely would like to have lessons because there's never a limit to how much you can perfect your own skill. So working with Mac Damon really helped us improve with everything that we've done so far. So I think this EP is going to be pretty cool and I hope you guys like it.
It also taught me as a guitarist to think that, the big sound on the record that I used to listen to and how it was done, and it's pretty cool to look behind the curtain and see how gets built up and thought out and gets executed right to give it that sound on the record. Me thinking it was just one track and that was it versus 11 tracks.
Well, but every producer's different too. Like with Mac, he really wanted us to stack, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Right.
Like stack the guitar, stack the vocals.
Right, and what gives that record the big sound that, or whatever record that you enjoy, and if it has a big sound on the record, it kind of just gives you behind the curtain when we're in the studio on how that's being done.
Like it's definitely a progress to help you better yourself as a musician as well. That's a level that I think every single musician should reach. Like even if you're a solo artist and you've never been in the studio, like I know it's kind of expensive, but if you really, really, really want to get your shit out there and like, just let people hear what you got, don't be afraid to fucking save up some money, man, and get like $2,300 or maybe some, $3,000. I mean, shouldn't take that long to save up that money, regardless of your situation. Like the amount of time it takes shouldn't matter. As long as you get in there, man, punch it in, and you will have a solid record. That's a good start to any music career.
And the cool thing is that you also get to see what you're strong at and what your weaknesses are in the studio. So it also gives you kind of like an idea of what you need to practice at home, to get better at your instruments or vocals or, drums or whatever instrument that you're playing. I know it showed on me like I needed to practice a little bit more with my timing, but you know, being in the studio kind of helped me get a little bit better at that, and pretty much I saw progress in that as far as me outside on stage or, you know, in the studio.
Sometimes you gotta have tough skin, and don't be afraid of constructive criticism. So some producers will be honest with you and tell you, like, all right, man, look, you need work. Like, just work on this a little bit, come back and see what you got. And some producers will be like, all right, sounded good, let's move on.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Like, the other day I was listening to our previous EP that we released, which was Tres Vidas, which you better download it now because that shit's not going to exist in about 2 months.
Or if you have the physical copy.
It will be eradicated completely.
But, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with it because, I mean, there's been some ideas that I might have had in the studio that I didn't bring originally or that I learned to play live. I think we're constantly always changing the songs a little bit here and there until we're happy with it. But, I mean, sometimes I've had some ideas I brought to Mac Damon in the studio, and he just kind of, as a group, we just always, you know, there's some things we decided, there's like, oh, it doesn't sound too good, or it just wasn't right for the tracking. So there's nothing wrong with that. You need somebody to say that when something does sound good and when it doesn't, because you have to put what works for everybody, not just for yourself. I think accomplishing something great as a team, that's like the most important thing. And I feel like for the first time in Marila Voe's progress as a band in 3 years, this is probably the most thing I've ever been I've never been more proud of anything that I've done.
Probably the biggest thing that we've achieved so far. Like we have bigger plans to achieve, but right now this is like the biggest.
Yeah, so like pretty much for like 3 years we did it wrong. We did it wrong, and I think 2017 was a highlight for us because we finally learned to do things the right way, and we just kind of did it by trying to be professional and putting in our research and putting in the time to learn from our mistakes. And I think with the release of this new EP, we don't want to say too much of what we're going to do next, but
big plans for sure.
Big plans. Yeah, we're really excited about releasing this because it's going to be a big game changer for us, and it's going to open a lot of doors, and we're really excited.
And to the people that are barely coming out as musicians and taking it seriously, I hope that what we do, what we say, and everything that you guys follow is a good example to help you start off your own venture, your own investment, your own sacrifices. You know, because I encourage everyone to fucking go out there and succeed. So it's going to take money. It's going to take time. It's going to take, you know, sacrificing this, giving up that. You know, just don't fucking give up, man, because we're young. I mean, do it now. Do it.
Yeah, and then the fact that we set this goal in the beginning of 2017 and we're almost done with this goal is a big accomplishment for me as well. It also showed me, you know, not to pretty much go headstrong in whatever you believe in and just do it. And who cares if you're going to fail, because you're just going to learn from that. And then, you know, speaking of goals, kind of leading into the next topic, we kind of started talking to ourselves about playing other cities, which I think our last show for the year was in Austin and Fine Southern Gentleman Clothing Store.
Fine Southern Gentleman Clothing Store, yeah, that was pretty interesting show. It was really small, but I liked it because it was more intimate, you know, to interact with everyone. So shout out to those guys in Austin.
And the people in the crowd that got wild for us.
Yeah, I think it was our first show that we actually had some weird, well, not weird, but it was like some moshing going on. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Shout out to those guys. Yeah, that was a cool place. Never heard of it, but we went to find Southern Gentleman in Austin. Really awesome clothing store. You guys check it out.
Yeah, shout out to Anthony Morales too, man, for getting us on the show. We plan on working with Trash Panda Productions from Austin later on in the future. Shout out to the guys that are part of it, you know, Hitting Subset, After Aristotle, Southpaw Sonata. You guys are the shit, man.
Yeah, slowly but surely we're hopefully trying to hit up all the cities here in Texas and eventually, you know, going out of the state. And like we said, 2018 is going to carry some pretty awesome goals for us.
I think 2017 was probably like the lightest amount of shows that we played, but
a lot of lessons.
We were still
learned.
Productive though, like even though it wasn't a lot of shows.
Yeah, it was our most productive year for sure.
Yeah, it was we were very productive, and a lot of it had to do with making time to get in the studio and just take that next step. But it was also actually like one of our most memorable years of the band so far. From getting a chance to play with Held the Sun.
Nightmares! So
Polyphia.
Who else did we play with? Wolf and Bear. It was Wolf and Bear.
We also played with Cianvar.
Cianvar was last year though. That was last year.
Oh, that was last year.
That was last year.
It still feels like it was this year because I think that was like December.
One thing I will say, guys, if you're listening and you want to learn how to building your brand is try to play with bands that are in right now. I mean, everybody has their own opinion on what's in right now, but if it fits your sound, do it. And that includes when we played with Cianvar, Polyphia, and this is the past 2 years, right?
Yeah, and which pretty much goes into our following topic, which is our 2017 accomplishments and lessons, which is, trying to get those shows, that you might fit the bill, and also we'll have a good amount of people there to catch your set and pretty much spread the word of your band or an artist or a songwriter, whatever the case it is.
Productivity is key.
And lessons? Any lessons learned from you guys?
Yeah, definitely don't eat and drink a lot before a show because the outcome is not good for anybody. Yeah, if you're going to eat it like a light salad before you go on stage. That'll be cool.
What lessons did you guys learn this year?
How about showing up to the show on time?
Oh my god.
When did we do that? We didn't.
Every show.
Marila Voe is notorious for showing up right on time.
Fashionably on time. No, I'm just kidding.
Showing up at the 15 minutes that we have to set up on stage. That's when we show up.
Hey, but we got it done, man. And it was one of our best shows too.
It's quite funny, yeah. It's funny the way
it's
it
almost so shitty that we've got so used to it that it's normal to us.
But the general idea, you want to be there at least an hour early.
Absolutely. And I don't think we mean to be there late to be jerks. It's just
we got work. And some of us work and we're just...
Some of us come from all over the city, from different parts.
Some of us come from not being, what is that word?
Notorious.
Notorious.
No,
oblivious.
Or necios, dude.
Not being the most
say it
punctual people, except Randy.
Dude, it totally gets
supposedly
down to my last nerve that
and
you guys are late.
sometimes it's hard to avoid too because either one person is going to be there on time or two people are going to be there on time and you're waiting for everybody else or they're waiting for you. So fucking haul ass, man. Get your shit in your car and drive to the venue an hour early.
Exactly. Yeah, we're working on it, and hopefully 2018 is one of those things that we get 2018 we get that fixed.
Hopefully you could be more punctual in 2018. Hey, surprisingly, you guys were here early today.
Yeah, we almost showed up late for this podcast. We were about 3 days late, so that sucked pretty bad.
Don't get the hiccups before you start a podcast.
Don't leave your fucking keys in another city. So we played in Austin, and this is what happened. So
no. Let's go back. Don't leave your keys in an empty beer box. So
when we played at Fine Southern Gentlemen, I left my keys and my charger in a empty case of beer, and I was like, "Hey guys, don't throw those away."
What case of beer?
A giant case of beer.
An empty case of beer?
Empty, so there was nothing in there. So I was like, all right, guys, don't throw those away. My shit's in here. They're like, okay.
We did not hear this.
But apparently, and I don't even remember doing this, I was the one who handed the empty case of beer to Randy and said, hey, throw this away. And I don't even remember doing that. So
don't tell other drunk guys that, and don't tell...
First of all, don't put your fucking keys in there. Keep your keys on hand with you.
All I did was, hey, give me all the trash so we can clean the van.
And I was like, here you go, man.
He just hands me the box. Okay, this is all trash.
So we're all happy talking about, it was a good show. We're driving back to San Antonio. Then they dropped me off first because I live closer to the northeast side going to Austin. And I was like, dude, where are my keys? Oh, shit, my keys are gone. They're like, for real? Are you sure you just don't have them? I'm like, they're not in my pockets, man. They're invisible. They're not here. And then they were like, dude, I feel so bad. I'm like, no, you don't. No, I'm just kidding. No. So I went in the house. I was fuck, how am I going to get back to Austin? I waited the next day. I went back. They were in the dumpster. Luckily, the trash didn't get it. So that was definitely an interesting trip to go get them back. So don't leave your keys anywhere but in your pocket.
No. And then what happened the next day?
I got my keys.
And then what happened after that?
I put them in my ignition and I drove in my car.
The day after that,
I don't remember, dude.
And then he got his keys locked in his car.
Oh yeah, and then I my keys.
So
I
think we had identified the problem, not the not where you put the keys.
You can't go to the studio if you don't have your keys. So make sure you got your fucking keys, man.
Can't believe you did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, follow that, Miguel.
Oh, the other thing too is we're still looking for a bassist. So if you know a bassist or if you are a bassist, be sure to hit us up. We do have a link on Bandcamp to check out, and I believe we still have our instrumentals up to check them out. And if you want to showcase, or try out for the band.
But be legit though. Don't waste anybody's time.
We won't waste your time either. So
be a legit bass player if you want to do this. Take it serious. Don't. It's just mutual respect. Don't think some shit's gonna fucking blow up in 3 months. Basically, like you have to put in the work. We didn't get here overnight. We put in the work. It took 3.5 years, and
we're barely getting started.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
3 years.
So don't be one of those guys who just wants to hop on for the ride and expect everything to get done,
or to tour with Guns N' Roses or Motley Crue. But also, we can provide the stems if you guys are serious.
Yeah.
Or you can check out what we're working on now before the EP is released. But also, if the EP is released and you're listening to this after the EP is released, by all means, please, just hit us up.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll talk about something.
Absolutely. Send us an email. Shout out to us on Facebook. Send us a DM on Instagram.
Slide into the DM.
Slide into it. Because we have a lot of people who send us emails and they never fucking...
They don't follow up.
They don't follow up, so I don't know what's going on.
Not only that, but first impression is everything. And,
yeah.
Just take it serious.
Yeah, just stop roaring us and then, that's it.
Don't worry about what Miguel's going to think because he thinks a lot.
It doesn't really matter.
Oh, to Randy it doesn't, but still. To all of us it does.
I'm just gonna record you and, you better look good.
Ooh. Hey, if you make it as a bass player, you'll be part of the podcast too.
So I definitely want to give a huge shout out to everybody that we've worked with this year. The year's coming to a close, so we want to close out the year good. And I just want to give a huge shout out to everyone that I've met this year, that we've all met this year as a band, and that we've got to work with. And we definitely have so much fucking plans next year, and I hope to include all of you guys. So even if you're listeners, I want to thank you guys so much for even taking the time to play this shit. Whatever you're doing at work or in your car, I appreciate it. We appreciate it. Duff man. No, I'm just kidding. No.
I believe me and Roy have been like the two that have been in the studio the longest.
Oh, dude, yeah, seriously.
But it is pretty fun though, as far as like being there from the beginning to getting closer to the end, and being there, the drums being cut, the bass being cut, our guitars obviously, pretty much watching each other, me and Roy fuck up, and then
it pretty much started as in like being really like nervous, being in like this really
uptight.
No, like really, I don't know,
downtight.
Like different environment at first, so we were just kind of getting used to the studio and the environment, and Mac Damon and Gabe, who's also like a assistant producer there or engineer.
Shout out to Gabe.
But now it's pretty much to the point where we can just like go in, kick back, feel like we're
rock stars. How did you guys even feel being in there? Because I feel like well, vocals is one thing. Like Mac was like making me hit notes I never thought I could hit before, but sitting there playing a guitar for hours, like what the fuck was that like?
I think it's pretty cool because I get to listen to. It's one thing being on the hot seat, or I guess you want to call it the hot seat, but just on the spotlight pretty much. Yeah, see, because imagine there was 2 singers in the band. The other singer gets to see what he's doing.
It's like...
So since there's 2 guitarists, it's pretty fun because the way I see Mac talking to me, I get to see that, experience that when he's talking to Roy, and it's just funny because like sometimes it's like there's some things where Roy won't get right away, and I'll get right away, but there's some things where I won't get right away, and Roy's like, no. It's
is that how you choose the parts though?
I'm sorry?
Is that how you choose the parts?
Like there's actually just been times where like I'm playing my own part and it just doesn't sound right, so Miguel will record it.
Yeah.
And then vice versa.
Exactly.
Miguel can't do his own part, but I'm better at doing it.
Exactly.
So I am to end up doing it.
And then and I think our effects are switching now. Like Roy's playing more flanger and tremolo.
Oh my god, dude. For the record, Miguel's flanger pedal, I cannot fucking stand, man.
Yeah, throw that shit away, dude.
It's what makes the record, though.
That did not make the record.
Too bad it's on the record.
Yeah, well, but it doesn't sound bad though. It actually sounds professional, like cool.
And the cool thing is that me and Roy had been eyeballing Kemper for a while.
What is that?
And not to say that it's the best thing in the
If
world.
nobody knows what that is, by the way, it's
Yeah, exactly.
it's just hard to explain.
It's pretty much like 1,000 guitar amps.
Nobody knows what that is either.
Oh wait! Is that like the?
It's
the
basically a device that a person who uses a guitar in a band, the sound that comes out of it comes out of that device.
Oh, well, excuse
and
me.
this device so happens to be called Kemper.
Reenact your sounds and just save it.
That's the future, basically. Because, yeah.
So it's like the Terminator from Judgment Day.
It's basically like an iPod for guitars.
Exactly. And it's cool because me and Roy have been eyeballing one for a while, and the fact that we get to actually mess with it for a couple of months has been pretty fun and kind of made us kind of want one and hopefully, get one in the near future.
Yeah.
But aside from that, everything's been cool. It's a good experience for all four of us, actually. And it kind of sucks that we couldn't experience this with the bass player, because that would have been cool as shit. And eventually, they'll come around, just like with Metallica and what the fuck was
Robert?
Yeah, how he came in late and it took him a while to like be cool. But I hope whatever bass player comes in, we can all be cool.
Now his kid is playing for Korn.
Yeah, dude, that is fucking awesome, man. That is cool as shit.
Yeah.
Damn, I hope my son can play for Marila Voe. That would be cool, and just replace me. That would be cool as fuck.
And it's pretty cool because Mac, the producer for Hollywood Studios, has been showing us some pretty cool records. And it's funny because I was having a conversation with Roy in the parking lot before we came in to do the podcast. We were talking about like how I view records different now when I listen to them, and I guess
but it's because of that experience you gain, right, from being in the
Yeah.
studio, that now you can see like from the outside, from the inside looking out. It's like, oh shit.
I don't think this is normal, but we've been recording a 5-song EP since March of this year.
Yeah, since April.
Oh yeah, we've been working on this since April, guys.
I thought it was March.
It was
No,
April.
it was April.
Oh, I guess Mac was right.
Oh, pre-pro was March.
PreProduction.
So
was March.
pre-production, for those who don't know what that is, what Mac did with us is he put us all in the same room, and we played the songs that we had. He recorded all of it in real time, and
Pick the
reviewed
best
it.
ones.
Yeah, the best ones. So we had, how many did we have? We had 8, right? Like 8?
Like 8 or 9.
8 or 9. And out of those 9, he was like, okay, scratch these. I like these. And you guys...
Not so much scratch them, just like, since we only had a budget for...
It was basically like choosing the best songs for the...
that represent us
I
as a
like
band.
how in one of them he's like, all right, is anybody attached to this song?
Yeah, it's probably the oldest one.
Oh, which one was that one? I think it was Fountainhead.
It's like literally the first Marila Voe song. Like
Yeah.
living room Marila Voe song.
Yeah.
With your mom cheering, woo!
I
What
think
did we call?
do you guys still have it recorded? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
we have it somewhere in our archives.
It's hidden in the archives
It is.
at the Federal Reserve.
I have short hair.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, recording since April, I suppose. Now it's November going into December. It's just been a little difficult to manage getting time in there, have a 9-to-5 job for everybody and
Yep.
scheduling everything out.
Mm-hmm.
But we made it work, and I think a big part of it wasn't just recording songs. We're actually having a person, being Mac Damon, help us produce a song and change it and make it bigger than it was.
Yep.
I think a lot of bands probably go into recording a record and just want to
Get it
a
done.
few bucks and get it done.
Yeah, dude, that's not the way to
And they're
go.
very like close to their artwork, and they're afraid of people changing things. And I don't know, I think we've all learned a big lesson on our first like professional recording, because I think we've learned to let go of being sensitive about like
Other people's opinions.
Yeah, it's just like,
Just play the fucking music. Like, whoever likes it, okay, that's cool. Whoever doesn't, like, oh well,
yeah. But also, there's nothing wrong with having somebody help guide you.
Yeah, and which made it easier for us to now that when we write something and we know something's wrong, we know how to fix it a little bit faster than we did before.
Yeah. And it was just a little bit difficult this year for us playing live, because we were adjusting so much in the studio with the songs, and we slowly had to keep learning to play them differently
Yeah.
every live show, and it was just kind of a strange experience. But
And that's one of the reasons why we didn't play a lot of live shows this year. But definitely we're going to make up for it as soon as this EP is released. Like, we have a lot of huge plans. So I definitely encourage any bands listening to this or any solo artists, like Roy said, like, take the fucking time, spend the money. Do not just get it done quick and then release it, because I guarantee you it's gonna plateau and then just fizz out. There's one example that I seen recently, and I won't even say a name or where it was from, but I was really disappointed, man. Like, it was a couple tracks. It wasn't an EP. I think it was a full length.
Who was it? Oh, you can't say.
It was me. I'm just kidding. No, it was me. Seriously though,
band,
like
a big band.
Yeah, but they could have put more time into it. It could have sounded sick as fuck, but I don't know what they decided on to not either spend the money or the time. But definitely, you want to shop around, which is what I think we did, right? Like, we heard another band that worked with Mac in San Antonio. We're like, fuck yeah, that's the guy.
I think Miguel just like looked on Facebook.
I want him.
This is the guy.
That's it. No one else.
No, I actually saw
No one else.
No, I personally reached out to somebody who recorded a local band here that we know of.
Did I remember? Nah.
But they never got back to me, so fuck him.
Yeah, man. I mean,
I'm glad they never reached back out. Like, I was thinking about that today. I was like, man, I'm glad that fucking person never reached back out to us, because we wouldn't be where we are right now.
Well, everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, we would have been done in a week with that guy.
And it's funny too, because like now that we got into like the business part of like the band,
which is very important too.
Yeah, it's just funny because like sometimes we'll hit up like companies for stuff, or like I think me and Roy were looking into flight cases, or me and Randy, I forgot who it was, but we would reach out and like they would not answer their phone, they won't email us back. So like, how do they run their business? So it's just funny to think like how business stay afloat, but like, because we're pretty good about
communication. Yeah,
pretty much communication, and we think that's key. And the fact that, you know, how companies survive or stay afloat in their field is just funny.
Right, of course. It's like a funny experience, right? Where you take your telephone, yeah, and you release an email, and you're like, "Hey, good evening. My name is so and so." Right, of course. Telly. No, I'm playing.
Yeah, so we're pretty much looking forward for tour once his EP is done.
Probably a Texas tour for sure, right?
Yes.
Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, and then we have a few bands in mind that we want to go on tour with, and hopefully, you know, our schedules line up. So just keep an eye out for that.
Be on the lookout. Put your eye on that thing. Yeah.
It should be interesting because it's just going to be one of those things where like we're going to be stuck with each other for however long on the road in a van.
With
I'm pretty sure it's going to be a week.
With a hard-boiled egg diet. Like, it's going to suck, man.
We're going to get to see Arturo in his regular habitat.
Yes, my habitat, my natural habitat.
Just don't lose your keys this time, please.
Dude, yeah, so Arturo's never going to be in charge of the keys. I'm going to make like
6 copies.
Arturo's not taking his keys on tour.
Just give me the keys. I'll take care of them.
Cool, man. Cool. If anything, I'll just take...
probably the most responsible one here.
I doubt that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know, man.
I pay my bills, okay?
Oh, another thing we also learned is the fact that we know how to talk to each other.
How to tolerate each other, one thing for sure.
Well, that was just like
fucking shit, dude.
That, but like now it's like one of those kind of, we passed that honeymoon phase, and you know, we're not one of those.
We hate each other.
We're not one of those.
I don't even think there was ever a honeymoon phase. There was
a honeymoon.
Like,
it hasn't happened
There was
yet.
A short honeymoon phase, you know, like
30 minutes.
We would practice for like 6 hours for like a whole week straight sometimes.
When I was in the honeymoon phase, I was just like the band figuring each other out. So it's like it took us a long time to be friends, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because we were just a bunch of guys that are like, we had this idea and this goal, and
it is like, I don't fucking trust this guy or what.
But we didn't trust Randy. None of us did. No, I'm just kidding.
We all just had different ideas getting into this band, and
we didn't know better because this is our first legit band. Like, I've been in a garage band before. Well, we never made it out the garage. Oh, except for Randy. Randy's been in a couple bands.
30 legit bands.
They got an Emmy from Nickelodeon Studios and 2 awards. So that was
Green
pretty
Slime
cool.
And everything.
Yeah, Green Slime and everything. And then Roy had a punk band before, like years ago when he was like 6.
The midget wrestler.
I think. And like the other members were like 17, so like they tried to get him drunk. And then Miguel was just a band in his head in the bedroom.
With my own timing and my own tuning.
His own metronome and everything. But I mean, I don't know what you guys think, but I feel like this is my first like legit actual putting time and effort and professionalism and money into a band, building a brand, and this is my first thing.
It's not my first band personally, but it's my first band that I was like, you know what? Because I was in a punk band,
Crust punk.
And a few years after that, I realized I was like, man,
it's not crusty
it just
enough.
was so boring that like it was so simple, and like I have nothing against it because I'm still so like
funky.
I'm so close to punk rock and stuff like that, but I wanted to be a real musician, and I wanted to learn to actually like improve as it like I admired jazz drummers when I was younger, or just like phenomenal musicians who put in the work and the time to be not good but great.
Wait, so it's not really that you're saying to be a real musician, but saying to be a more complicated.
Well, let's be real. Anybody who is in a punk band just plays power chords.
Okay,
right?
I will agree with Roy. Like I'm not putting any punk bands down, but it's there's a lot of simplicity. It's a lot of simplicity.
Yes,
in
yes. I guess I'm not saying that that doesn't not make it real.
But you
musician.
can go beyond that with harder shit like flamenco. Like classical music is so fucking hard, dude. Like I wish I could play classical. Continue, please.
Yeah, there's something to admire about that, because they're like, when you look at somebody who is a jazz musician or someone who,
it's admirable.
Yes, because you can like they put in hours into that craft, and there's no way anybody is good
without learning that. At least
you have to put in hours of dedication, and there's something that's I think anybody who's passionate about anything and they see something like that in a person, it's like it's really cool to watch.
And it's funny too, because like I always see that and I was like, there's a reason they're by themselves.
No, yeah, that's true. That's true.
Because either they're
it's an obsession.
Yeah. It's either like no one is they can't find anyone as good as them or that can keep up with them, or they're just they're just probably hard to work with, possibly, you know. Because I met musicians where they're really good, but for some reason they're like their worst critic, or the vice versa. They don't think anyone is as good as them, so you know what, they're by themselves, and it just sucks because, you know, they're just really good, and the fact that they're on their own and don't want to work with anyone or don't think they can work with anyone sucks, because, you know, I feel like they can pretty much accomplish a lot of great things with their talent.
It's okay to have pride, man. I mean, that's cool. You know, like be proud of yourself of the goals you've reached and the things you've done, but don't be so fucking like proud of yourself to where it's like, oh, you know, those guys, they can never reach my level or this and that, because you're gonna end up doing all your music by yourself, man. Like Nathan told me about some guy that the Bastard Son was gonna work with, and I won't say any names, but he said something on a podcast that made it seem like, yeah, it's just me and this is my band, they do what I tell them to write. And after that they were like, what the fuck, dude? Like, it was an ego thing. So it's okay to be proud of what you do, just don't let your ego get in the way.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Like, be humble. Don't say it. Be humble, man. Be humble. Be cool. You know, like be cool with everybody you meet, because people will talk about you. And, you know, the general idea is, who cares what people say about you? But it helps if you're a solo artist in your city or a band when you have good character, because people will spread that word. Like, they'll talk about you and they'll say, hey, you know, so and so does this and that. Like, hey, so and so is a cool guy. Like, listen to his music, check it out. So that's one thing I will say about what you do, man. Just be yourself. Be cool.
Yeah. Y'all want to talk? Y'all have any goals?
Oh yeah, one goal I do have, because we have a music video coming up. I need to fucking shed some pounds, man. And like I was telling Roy, like I had a pamper party this weekend because my son is due soon. Where like before the pamper party, I stepped on the scale, I was like, I want a 244, and then afterwards I was like at 250. I was like, what the fuck? Like all that beer and pizza, man, it fucked me up. But definitely we have a music video coming up soon, so check it out, guys.
There's only going to be headshots.
Yeah, no chub. And if there is chub, it's going to be digitally remastered.
Well, we're all just going to be wearing black and then a black background. And
I'll probably be wearing a turtleneck to hide
floating
that.
heads.
the reason to see our heads.
I'll be wearing a turtleneck for sure to hide that second chin chub. Nobody wants that. Not even Miguel. He's got a head chub.
And certain things for me, as far as for like 2017, you know, a lot of things have moved forward for me. Pretty much from the confidence that this band gave me.
Rhinoplasty.
This band has gave me so much confidence as far as like my choices and things that I want to do, and the fact that I'm learning pretty much videography and photo work, like, has definitely gonna help the band out. Now that we have someone in the band that kind of thinks about certain things. Now we have more of an idea what way or direction that we can go as far as for the music video and other music videos that we're going to have. So that's going to be pretty exciting for me for 2018.
Well, one thing that's helping too is like the guys ask me for the lyrics, and that's definitely an important part at the end of the day. Like, even if nobody cares about what the fuck you're saying, it helps paint a vivid picture for those who are interested in what we're saying.
Yes, and I guess that goes back to another thing, like that I saw Arturo get better as a singer.
Oh, yeah. Definitely being in this band helped me be more creative in lyrics, and also Mac Damon too. So he helped me dissect what the message I was trying to get across. And we did change it a little bit, but the general idea is still the same. So that's one cool thing that you'll get out of being in a studio with a producer who's willing to work to perfect what you guys are doing.
Yeah, which is pretty cool, because like now when Arturo sings the new lyrics, it's like Arturo said, you can pretty much paint the picture. So
which is going to be open to interpretation, but
I can now, when you sing it, I can like definitely picture
picture
a movie in my head.
Reminds me of when my mom made menudo. Like that kind of shit.
So that song, one of the songs is about menudo, apparently.
Yeah, but it's like very.
Wait, Menudo the band or?
No, hombre, menudo cuando estás crudo. No, but seriously though, guys, it's gonna paint a picture for each and every single one of you, and that's one way that we want to connect as a band with you guys is through the music.
Yeah, and then the cool thing too is that we're pushing each other not only as
to lose weight.
It's not only being better as musicians in the band, like we're also pushing each other's outside of the band. Like as far as like Randy, like he has his own company now. Arturo is trying to get better at not being
whatever. Arturo's trying to get better at whatever Arturo does.
No, he's trying to pursue fatherhood. That's what he's doing.
No. So what Miguel's trying to say is like we said in the other podcast was that we're all we all found our profession being in this band. So Miguel found videography, photography.
Well, not just for like pretty much for 2017. It's just like it's been a huge leap forward as far as okay.
Right. So one thing that it helped me get better as was seeing a business aspect of things. Yeah. And I think I can take that trade anywhere. But yeah, being in this band, like I've learned to take it seriously, like as a company. You know, like even though it's like any other company, man. I mean, I'm pretty sure like a long time ago, McDonald's started out small as shit, right?
Right.
Eventually, boom, McDonald's world fucking wide.
But like, I think we're all like around the same age here. We're
17.
We're not 25 anymore. But
I'm fucking 26. Yeah, I'm not 25 anymore.
But no, I think that it's pretty awesome because I mean, we meet a lot of people in our lives who don't have goals or watch Game of Thrones
all day long,
and they're ready to hop into that next TV show.
Which is okay, because like
because saying it's okay because he watches Game of Thrones. That's why.
No. Which is okay, because like for the longest time, like I would see that, and then it not that it made me mad. It just made me want to like
do more,
change that person's perspective as far as like what they're doing with their life. But again, like that can be their happy thing. That can be. That's what they want.
Well, that's
a certain type of person. Like,
yeah.
I think the people that are in Marila Voe are people that are driven and want to do something more. Yeah. And what I'm trying to say is that is okay, but we're not those people.
Exactly.
I don't watch Game of Thrones.
So there's a saying where if you want to fucking play video games all day and watch Netflix on that and you're happy, then you've won. You've won out of life. That's it. You're good. But when other people that have a creative mindset and want to do more than just fucking sit down and play GTA 5, which I actually do play GTA 5 here and there, but I don't spend my entire life playing GTA 5. I try to be as productive as possible. So the point I'm trying to get at is there's people that are going to settle for what they have and people that are going to be driven to want more. And that's the majority of Marila Voe. We wanted to do more than just be musicians. We want to take what we have and hone it into other things that we come across in our lifetime.
Yeah, like Marila Voe has taught us all a lot. Like going back to like the first 3 years of this band, not knowing what we were doing, I think we've learned a lot about like branding ourselves, promoting ourselves, like the marketing part of it, the business. Maybe to some bands they consider boring, but I think it excites us. I think it's helped us like build our own
brand,
build our own brand and personality our own way. And like Arturo was saying, is we can take this anywhere in our lives. Like I'm personally 26 years old, and even if this EP was the last thing that we ever did together, I think we've learned so much. Like he was saying, Miguel does videography and photography now, and
Randy has his own line of drumsticks.
I think the cool thing is that now we're not afraid to like get an idea, sketch out the plan, and then just fucking do it. Because look at us now, we're doing a podcast right now, and the fact that we're on episode 3, we have the plan on how to release it. We have a guy in our band that's gonna edit this.
Be a team,
and yeah, it's pretty much be a team, and just we're doing it. You know, this is one of those.
And don't think about it being perfect. Like this is our 3rd podcast episode. Is it perfect? I doubt it.
We improvised everything now.
But the goal is to keep getting better, and we just something that we want to do is keep pushing out content all the time. Like
keep it fresh.
Absolutely, and like our YouTube channel has. We're almost.
How many followers
we're
do we
like
have?
50. We're like 50 views away from 10,000 views on our YouTube channel. So
how many followers do we have? We have like 80, right? Somewhere in
we
there?
have like 100 and something.
Oh shit!
But like the thing about YouTube is you have to have a minimum of 100 subscribers, 10,000 views, and at that point you can start like actually
generating
revenue and getting paid. But not so much about getting paid. It's just like it's a cool like goal to have met, and we're really happy about that, amongst some other many things.
But not only that too, like I've had some people come up to me like, "Hey Arturo, I noticed that you talked about this in the podcast." I was like, "What? You listen to the fucking podcast?" I was like, "Damn, okay, cool." Which is cool, you know. So like, any of you listening to this right now, like, I mean, you guys are awesome, and we appreciate you guys being a part of what we're doing now, because we have a lot of goals in the future, and I hope all of you are part of that. You know.
Yeah, if you want us to talk about anything or have any comments, just let us know.
Or message on the YouTube comments for sure. Like if you guys want to ask us anything like that, I think that's one thing we should do is say in this podcast for sure. It's like you guys that are listening right now, if you have anything you want to ask us or talk about, or if you want to be featured, just fucking say so. And we'll take it into consideration and just comment the comment below. Like if we're doing a YouTube video. I'm pointing down right now like on the comments below. So we're going to finish off with this. Oh, you're raising your hand? What's up, Miguel? What do you want to say?
I think Miguel is sad that it's the last year Warped Tour and he never gone to like one Warped Tour in his life.
I've never been to any Warped Tour.
Me neither.
I'm the only one in the fucking band who's been... Look, okay, I want to say a story real quick. I'm the only guy, my name is Roy. I play guitar in this band, who's been to Warped Tour. I've probably gone like 2 or 3 times. And I'll never forget, I've always wanted to talk about this, and I don't mean to bash anybody, but I won a Warped Tour, like I think it was my first year.
He sharded.
And I think I saw like Under Oath and Day to Remember. I think Bad Religion played.
What year was it? Do you remember?
I don't. But the band Anti-Flag was playing on stage, and I wanted to watch Anti-Flag. Checking them out, hot as hell. We're from Texas. And I was a drummer at the time, so I didn't play guitar. And they asked, are there any drummers out there in the crowd? And I was super stoked. And I was like, oh shit, this is my moment. My moment came, and I'm going to go on that stage, and I'm going to fucking play to an Anti-Flag song. Whether I knew it or not, I was just going to gun it. And I was like, yeah, you know, like among all these, like this huge fucking crowd in Texas. And I got chosen. Like I think there was like 4 or 5 people.
That's pretty
so they pick me up. I go on stage, and I just look at this, like the huge crowd of people. And I think for the first time in my life, I realized like, holy shit, I had never been in front of that many people in my life. I had never been on a stage like that. So it was like a pretty incredible experience. But when I was looking forward to play drums for Anti-Flag, they had me a fucking cowbell.
Mother.
And it wasn't only me. There was like 3 other people, and I'm just kind of like, this is a fucking joke. I hope this is a fucking joke. And so there's this part where I guess they're doing whatever they got to do, and I'm playing a fucking cowbell for, I don't know, like the rest of their set.
Oh.
And but it was a cool little experience, like realizing how like cool it was to be on stage and expressing yourself or whatever. And I got to walk out like the back edge of the stage, nothing glamorous. But
yeah, I'm pretty sure you already know that by now.
Yeah, fuck you, Anti-Flag. And after that, I've never listened to another Anti-Flag song in my life. I don't give a shit about Anti-Flag.
Fuck.
That would have just killed me if I was like a pretty good drummer, or like if I was a great drummer out and they had me a cowbell. That would just
fucking cowbell. You don't need to be a drummer to play cowbell.
Did you keep the cowbell though?
I should have kept the fucking cowbell.
I would not. Oh man, I would totally just.
Dude,
Anti-Flag literally turned me into an anti-Flag band that day, or fan.
Anti-flag.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Warped Tour, there's no more Warped Tour, or one more year.
Yeah, guys. So
2018.
we just got notified from fake news from Donald Trump that there's not gonna be any more World Tour.
Yeah, I think I'm actually gonna go this year.
You know what's crazy is like I've seen people's statuses on Facebook that like, okay, it's gonna be the last one. I definitely have to go. So I think they're gonna generate so much fucking money from this year, dude. It's the last year, and we're definitely gonna try to get, like, no promises, guys, but we're gonna try to get on San Antonio's bill for a Warped Tour this year.
Yeah, and if you
Well,
guys
not this year, next year.
if you guys can, help us out and get those.
The generate bus thing, is that what they do?
I think so. Yeah, I think this was generate bus.
Like, there's like a website where it's like, hey, generate, if the band generates enough buzz where it has
Well,
traffic.
more importantly, we're gonna be releasing our EP next year, and most fucking importantly, just pre-order it if you can, if you're willing to, if you want to.
If you can.
I mean,
Yes.
if you've heard us before, if you listen to us, just pre-order it. We'd be super grateful. We don't take any of that for granted because we have big goals, and just pre-ordering the record is going to help us to have more opportunities like that. So just something to keep in mind.
Yeah, and
Oh yeah, new merch.
But yeah, last Warped Tour. I always wanted us to play a Warped Tour, but
yeah, and if we don't get to make it, I guess I'll buy a ticket and die with all y'all in the heat.
I can handle these.
Yo, but definitely, guys, before the year closes out, I would like to chill with all of you guys that listen to us or have met us before. Like, maybe we'll do like a Marila Voe party or something. I mean, whoever that is, I don't know what the fuck that is. What's a Marila Voe?
it's a CD listening party.
Oh, yeah.
We're just gonna pop the CD in the PA and then just listen to it.
That would be totally cool. But definitely we'll be doing an EP release show, right? Next year or no?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. That's
All you get is 5 songs, though.
That's
Then we're
it.
getting off stage.
$50 each.
But 5 lit songs though,
What does that mean?
not just any songs. 5 lit songs.
Oh, so it's on fire?
Yes.
All right, guys. Was that's it for Arturo Salas signing off. See y'all next time.
All right, guys. If you're listening, thank you for giving us a listen, and
Subscribe to our YouTube channel, like it, share with your friends. If nobody knows who we are,
Share it with Randy.
Share us.
Yeah.
Look forward to the new music that we have coming out next year.
Roy has hiccups. Sorry, guys.
Thank you guys for following us. We really appreciate it. Thank you guys for following us, and we appreciate it. We can't wait for next year. We're gonna keep working.
What he's saying is thank you guys so much.
Yeah, we can't wait for next year. We're gonna keep working our ass off, and
We hope you guys enjoy it.
we're gonna finish recording our EP, and we're gonna keep hooking you guys up with these.
Man, Roy's just trying to keep me in business over here. I'm gonna have to edit all of this.
We're gonna keep hooking you guys up with these podcasts.
Keep that shit in there, dude. So yeah, guys, we're gonna keep hooking you up with the podcast, and we're gonna keep continuing to try to connect with you guys in any way. Like I said before earlier, if you have any topics or if you want to be included in our podcast as a guest, just hit us up.
Thank you for listening, and it's a Get in a Van podcast, and fuck yeah.
See you guys next time.
All right.
da, 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 da.
Why does Randy's hair look like Goro? That's what I want to know. That's the next topic.
No, dude, seriously, if we
No, you
sell
won't, dude.
more than
Dude.
probably 100 albums in one night, I'll probably chop my hair right then
dude.
and there. Yeah, let's make that a goal.
Oh, and before we end it, I do want to say, trying to record in the studio when you have fucking allergies, definitely you want to try to take some apple cider and gargle that shit or some salt water, because I definitely got to go to the studio next Thursday.
shows?
So thank you guys so much. Pickle Rig! All right, guys, thank you so much. That's it for us. We're settling in the sunset right now. Goodbye.